The best way to show proper lifting technique is under a controlled environment like a gym. The gym has a flat surface, the weight is symmetrical, and is easily gripped. The first step in making a safe lift is preparation. The first thing you need to do is align yourself so that the weight is evenly distributed on the right and left sides of the body. The next thing is to make sure that your feet and hands are shoulder width apart. The third step is to keep your head in line with your back and straight ahead. However, the most important thing is to keep your back straight. The back from the tailbone to the base of the skull should be a perfectly straight line. The energy required to perform the lift is generated by the legs and hips, not the back. In order to prevent injury, it is critical that the straight starting posture be maintained throughout the lift. If the lift is performed properly, the feet, the hips, the shoulders, and the bar will all move strictly on a vertical plane. To execute a lift, the lungs should be fully inflated in the down position. The lifter begins to exhale 3/4 of the way through the lift and is fully expired when the lift is completed. This lowers blood pressure and improves performance. The lifting technique employed at the gym can be transferred to real-life situations. In this case, the worker centers himself to the object, positioning it tight to his body. He places his hands and feet shoulder width apart and lowers himself into a squatting position. Using the muscles from the legs and hips, maintaining a straight back and keeping the head parallel to the ground, the worker can safely lift the object. By employing this technique, the worker's feet, hips, shoulders, and the object are aligned on the same vertical plane, minimizing the strain on the lower back. There are objects that present unique challenges to safe lifting practices as a consequence of their size, dimension, and location. Case in point, here's a 100-pound bag of cement lying flat on the ground that needs to be transferred to the truck. The best case scenario for lifting this object will be a modified version of the safe lifting technique. Here are the following steps. The worker kneels in front of the object to be lifted. He pulls the bag to his waist and centers the bag over his left knee. He moves the right leg slightly outward and puts the right foot flat on the ground. Sliding both hands under the bottom of the bag, keeping the bag tight to his body and back straight, the worker pushes off with the right foot and stands straight up. These types of lifts should be avoided when possible because the excess weight and awkward starting position can put undue stress on the worker's knee. It is critical when transferring objects to avoid twisting with the back. The worker should employ footwork to make any turns. An important aspect of minimizing risk of back injury while lifting is to limit single-person lifts to 50 pounds. Objects weighing between 50 and 100 pounds can be safely handled by 2 people by following the safe lifting procedure. In addition, storing heavy items at floor level does not facilitate safe lifting techniques. Engineering control should try to ensure that such items are stored within the power zone, roughly 24 to 48 inches off the ground. In a real-world setting, it is important to plan your route beforehand. This way you can make sure it's clear of any obstacles and avoid any slipping and tripping hazards. A good rule of thumb before starting any work task is the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule states that you need to spend a couple of minutes before starting a work process and identify any potential hazards or risks involved, and what can be done to reduce or eliminate those risks. In this particular case, we need to remove the snow in order for the worker to have a clear path to the truck. Now that the path has been cleared, the worker can safely transfer the materials to the truck.